the aubergine was lodged forever. Anyway, we're back with Andy.
Hello.
Hello. For the meat of the interview, the real meat of the interview.
Meat. I'm vegan, Andy.
The real processed soya.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Andy, what's your top hobby tip?
Oh, okay. So do you know the tissue trick? No. Okay, so it's like an alternative.
You dry brushing, use a tissue, or
no. So when you're building a model and you've got that bit that you want that you'd like to pin, but it's far too small, or the surface area is too altogether. So if you get a bit of ply, like single ply tissue paper, or get a piece of tissue and sort of tear it in half until you're down to a single ply bit of it, and then cut it to the size that fills the gap, and then put a bit of super glue on one part of the model, put the tissue on, and then close the model around it, and then trim off the extra paper. Like it's an incredibly effective way of making like awkward joints hold.
Yeah.
So it basically gives the super glue something to bond around and form a tight seal.
Like a metal or plastic or anything, you just put a bit of.
Yeah, I mean, like typically, if you're working with plastic models, plastic cement should hold anything. But yeah, like
I plastic cement. I know lots of people out there are like, no, super glue's best for everything. And I'm like, no, I'm plastic.
That's I mean, your mileage may vary, right? But plastic glue and plastic models is
it would seem like a way to go, wouldn't it?
Fuses it together, right? You know, it's
supermodels,
right? If they made supermodels, that's what you need with super. So a bit of single ply tissue paper in that awkward joint that you can't pin but keeps breaking. That's why.
Yeah, I guess you wrap it round, and do you leave the paper on or?
Oh no! So like literally, if you've got like say you've got shoulder socket and arm like that, and they keep falling off, a piece of tissue about the same size as the joint. And put some
literally between the two like that.
Yeah.
Around it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. So inside it, in between the two bits of metal, and then nice. That's a point. Things like with scoring the surfaces and roughing it up to give it more surface area, but that's basically what the tissue acts as is a thing for the super glue to bond around, and fuses it.
What's your best hobby tool? And you can't say single ply toilet tissue because no one can get any at the moment, so no one's got any available.
My favourite, right. But that's a tricky one. I guess probably my airbrush. I love my airbrush. I use it for pretty much everything.
Is it airbrush or airbrush?
My airbrush.
Good.
Definitely not my hairbrush. It changed my life getting my airbrush. Everything from priming to base coating to even some detail work that I'm doing now.
I think I really wish that I had the space and the ability to set up an airbrush. I think it would help me to get that little jump up to next level painting.
It's I appreciate it's not always a convenient thing for everyone to have in their house. Yeah, I'm very lucky that I've actually got a dedicated painting hobby desk in my office. So my airbrush is always set up because that's the faff of it, is setting it all up and packing it all away again. If you can just grab it, clean it.
Do it.
Yeah, but they're good fun.
Any quick tips for someone thinking about getting an airbrush? Apart from talking to Henry.
Yeah. Get used to cleaning it. Watch lots of don't get a really cheap, crappy airbrush. Get a good one at entry level price. Spend £100 on it. Get a decent. Don't spend too little. And then watch video after video on how to clean it properly and get used to doing that. And just get into practice.
Pounds on the airbrush and how much on the compressor?
Sorry.
How much is that compressor and airbrush combined, or?
I would, going into it, I'd spend at least 100 on the compressor and at least 100 on the airbrush. That's what I'd go with. It's about 200 for sort of buy-in. Which is comparatively expensive, but if you think about how much models cost, that might be like 4 tanks these days. It's probably like 3 Games Workshop models these days, right?
Or one.
Or one.
A leg, a Titan leg.
Yeah. And the amount of mileage that you get out of an airbrush once you've got the setup there, I'd say I use my airbrush every time I paint a miniature now.
Everyone I know who's made that jump to using an airbrush, not that I'm jealous or anything, has gone like, "This is amazing. Why wasn't I using it before?" It's so good. I'm like,
so you can check out so Iwata do this. I think it's called the Neo Air. It's like a really small compressor. It's about that big, and it's relatively quiet. And it's great for like base coating and undercoating. So I think Chris from Club has just switched to one, and he's having that kind of like oh my god, this is amazing moment, So,
cool. Well, I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any motivational tips? How do you stay motivated? How can other people stay motivated?
I mean, that's a big question. Again, it's probably I don't think I do have any motivational tips because I'm terribly motivated. But I'm kind of lucky in regards that I work from home all the time anyway. Like, isolation or not, I work from home. So actually being self-motivated is kind of ingrained into me now. I find personally for me, like tick lists help quite a lot. So if I've got a cabinet over there of games of Kingdom Death models that have been sat there unbuilt. And it was only when I went, right, okay, let's make a little tick list for each unit and be like, right, this thing, build that, fill the gaps on that, file that, I did that for all the things. And then all of a sudden, ticking off those boxes becomes a bit of a driver.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Good in life, just for everything, really.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like tick lists basically run my life, govern my life. I work in production, so the like tracking and measuring stuff. And some people use spreadsheets. I think you're a fan of the spreadsheet, right?
He just love a good spreadsheet. Bit of a Kanban as well.
Right, this video will become very not safe for work if we start talking about spreadsheets too much. I tell you. So yeah, and I think the moment that you stop enjoying doing something, switch to something else. If you're getting really bored of painting that model, put it down for a bit and pick up something else. And change your palette. Or just build some stuff for a while. I haven't done any painting for maybe about a week now because I was kind of like looking at my painting desk going, I can't be bothered. So I built some models instead. I built a lot of stuff.
Yeah, if you're not
I'm looking at my pilot models going, I really want to paint
them. You're not, tidy your paint area,
Yep.
It's a hobby.
Exactly that.
So we've delved into it a little bit, I think. Tell me about your favourite game.
Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, so Infinity is easily my favourite game. To the point where I don't actually play anything else anymore. Infinity got me back into wargaming after sort of a 3 or 4 year hiatus, and has kept my interest ever since. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of excited to try out a Bushido, but really I'm like,
what is about Infinity that keeps you coming back, that you like so much? You mentioned you like the models. You mentioned it's a low figure count if you want it to be. But what is it about the actual game itself? That a lot of is a very dedicated Infinity player group at the club.
Yeah. I mean, and there's quite a large amount of us now. When I first started coming to the club,
4K now.
I think so. Yeah, when I first started coming to Infinity, come to Hate 3 or 4 years ago, I think there was about maybe 8 or 10 people playing Infinity, and now there's nearly 30 of us that play on a regular basis. And it's like the game is just astoundingly dynamic. Every single game. I don't think I've ever played a boring game of Infinity. A game where I've gone, okay, so I'm just gonna have to watch this play out, and as my game gets steamrolled, or be like, okay, it's the end of my turn 1. The guys lost, and had to play it through. The game's only 3 turns, so you don't have forever to sort of like get your game plan going. Models, even the toughest models can actually be quite vulnerable in situations. There's no hard win, so you've really got to think about what everything does. And you might have had this said about Infinity before. It's always your turn. So they've got this really great mechanic called the ARO mechanic, the automatic response order. So if my model activates, if I decide to do something with my guy, and you've got a model that can see him or her or it or whatever it is, you get to respond to that. And whether that response is to fire a shot off or dodge out the way or lay a mine, it means that you're always doing something in the game, and you're not just waiting for your active turn to do your stuff. You're spending your active turn setting up to make your opponent's turn harder, or so that you can like release your game plan in their turn, and all of a sudden they've got to spend their entire turn responding to you, and I think it's just a really fresh way of playing a game. I came from playing 40k and Warhammer Fantasy, which was very my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, and you could kind of just walk away from the game for a bit if you wanted to. And games got a bit stale, but Infinity,
I go, you go, can be a bit,
just be a bit numbing, and sometimes it feels a bit just slogging through games.
You roll your dice. I'm going to go to the bar. See you in 5 minutes. Hitting me.
I found myself with so I used to collect Black Templars and I used to collect Dark Elder, and I found myself bringing the same Black Templars list to every single game, regardless of mission, and the same thing would happen, and it would either work really well or I'd lose. With Infinity, you can take the same army list to the same game 5 times against the same opponent even, and it will play out completely differently just for the nature of it's a D20 system, and it's not a fixed number system, so you've got modifiers, and the face-to-face rolls are different, so it's not like how many successes I get versus how many successes you get. It's like, is my success better than your success? And it's a really fun dynamic system. If anyone's watching this going, oh, that sounds really cool, come and speak to us at one of the club and we'll show you how it works, because it's
I'm planning to when I get out of here and
when we can see people again. Yeah, absolutely.
Lockdown. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
What game do you fancy playing in the future? Well, I guess that's Bushido, isn't it?
Bushido, yeah. I don't know too much about the system, but the models look really cool, and I think like many fellow geeks out there, I'm quite into Japanese aesthetic and mythology, and Bushido riffs on that. And so you've got really cool guys in suits of armor and big swords and ninjas and flying demons and stuff like that. So that all looks really cool. And it's apparently quite a fast, dynamic game with a low model count and action rate.
Lovely. So anything else? Any other games on the horizon for you?
I keep getting drawn back to Games Workshop stuff because of their lovely models. And I played a bit of, what's it called, Underworld? Yeah, sort of like small mission, almost like objective-based game. Yeah, that was quite fun. So I might try something small and Games Workshop-y at some point.
I sort of moved away from 40k. I was a big 40k, but I sort of moved away from that now. I just tired of chasing the curve. But I've been playing Kill Team.
Oh yeah.
By 10, you can paint 10 guys. So you go, I'd like to do a bit of Tyranids, but you don't want to do a whole Tyranid army. You just do that
sounds fun. Yeah.
Just a fun, like an evening project. Do 10 guys, and you can play with them.
Yeah, nice.
Enough about me and Kill Team.
Oh, so I think something that I'm really I've got a bit of a hole in my hobby at the moment is for something fantasy themed. Mm-hmm. So obviously I paint a lot of sci-fi stuff. I'm kind of a bit sick of painting flat armor and guns. Quite up for painting some scaly stuff or some swords or some magic. Which is quite.
So, hi Dan at the club.
Hey Dan.
Hi Dan. He posted up. He's bought a starter set for Burrows and Badgers. Have you
Burrows and Badgers? I have not seen Burrows and Badgers. No.
It's like Wind in the Willows, the skirmish game.
Sounds amazing.
And the models are amazing. So who doesn't want a berserker shrew?
What's it? So Burrows and Badgers.
Burrows and Badgers. So have a check. It's an Osprey game. There's a whole range of anthropomorphic creatures.
All right.
Armor, and there's wizards, and who doesn't want an otter knight?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my pen has died.
Have a set from the Northumbrian miniatures. They did like the weasels, and then you have the Badger and Moley and all those guys from the classic.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
So, cool. I'm going to go myself, and I keep meaning to. So
yeah.
So check that one out, guys.
So there's any rat slaves, I'll be fine.
Oh, absolutely. I've only got rat models left, Andy. I'm sorry.
Oh, my life.
I guess you could just use Skaven if you wanted to get involved and you got a pile of Skaven.
The depressing thing is I actually sold all my Skaven. I got rid of them. I was like, I painted up so many rats and then just got rid of them.
Well, I told orcs. I had 3 cases of orcs. I remember taking them along I'd pick up the 3 cases, take them to work. From work, got on the bus, took the bus there, spend an hour taking all the models out, like units of boys, like 30 boys in each unit, 100 boys, all the models set up. Then I'd have to actually move the units around. My back would be killing me. Then I'd have to spend an hour putting them away. And I'm like, I'm too old for an orc army. It's a skill on my back.
Well, it's a young boys game, you know. That's
also a young man's game.
That's it.
Anyway, what's your favourite club memory? There you go. Caught you unawares.
There are so many of them. God, I mean, the various times that we announce something that someone awesome is doing something, or doing something awesome. For me personally,
sometimes you do awesome things.
Oh yeah, but maybe
you can't talk because you're too modest.
Oh, I don't know. Probably the first time that I went down and there were more Infinity games than anything else being played, because it's just like, yes, my people. I don't know. Every Wednesday is an awesome memory from Hate Club. It's so awesome. Yeah, I can't even quite just believe that I'm a member of such a good gaming group.
It's such a nice. I personally don't find it very. I don't sound. It's not toxic something.
Yeah. And quite deliberately anti-toxic as well. We quite actively get rid of those sorts of attitudes, or at least try
our best. I know we're not perfect. Try our best. But I'll sometimes venture onto other people's other groups, Facebook groups, and I'm horrified.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yes, I forgot that actually.
Yeah. Oh, the real world people do suck. Yeah. No, I mean, hate is one of the two reasons that I haven't actually moved away from London. So it really is, gaming environment or not. If it was just a sort of like a social hangout without games removed, it would still be a great place to go regularly. So I don't think I could pick a favourite memory of that place. All of them.
We have 5 more questions to go. We have the big 4. Tom's question. So, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Andy, what is your favourite paint and why is it Null Oil?
Okay. I don't actually use washes.
Da, da, da.
Yeah, I don't use washes.
Do you have any pen or anything?
So I use inks, and I glaze quite a lot, but I don't use particularly Games Workshop washes or Vallejo inks.
Inks are for peasants. I don't use so I don't use washers.
Your words, man. Your words.
I
get my favourite paint, to answer your quick question, is either Vallejo game Periscopes, which is this kind of dark tealy colour. Periscopes, yeah, it's Panzer Aces Vallejo.
Yes, I know that range.
Yeah, that's an incredible colour. Or what's the other one? Maybe Cork Brown, which is another Vallejo game colour. This is a great base coat for basically anything. It's great. Or a new one that I found recently, which is scale colour Azul Fundo, or Deep Blue, which is this really dark or petrol-y blue. And that's great. I've been using that quite a lot as a replacement for black undercoat. So I'll prime black and then I'll spray it this colour, just so that there's a bit the shadows aren't quite so harsh when I paint. That's good. But yeah, in terms of I do miss Null Oil. I used to use it a lot. It's great, for.
Because I rely a lot on washes. I'm like, right, done. Time for the soft tone.
Sure, yeah, and absolutely, washes are a great way of painting. I just don't think washes overly suit my style of painting, I guess.
Oh, that's what. Each to their own. If you've got a style that works for you, hey, you at home. If you don't like using washes, you don't have to use them. Andy says that's fine.
That's yeah, that is fine. That is fine.
Second big question.
Okay.
What's your favourite dice?
It's the Humble D20.
Yeah.
Fellows. Yeah.
Humble 20. Humble.
Humble, or maybe braggadocious. Who knows? I love a D20. In terms of actual favourite, do you mean like favourite sided dice or my favourite?
D20, D4. If you have a particular set of dice you want to mention.
Well, okay, so I'm a bit OCD in regards to that. So the dice that I use match the paint job of my army.
Yeah.
So when I start a new army, I also buy a new set of dice to go with them.
Yeah. So, no, I've got lots of D6s. This army needs, but I can't use my red and white dice I use for my Polish,
right?
My Americans. So I have green and white dice for my Americans, obviously.
Yeah, why would you go to all the effort of painting up a beautiful army and then only to have something clash with it when you're rolling dice next to them?
Doesn't make any sense.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?
Madness.
So yeah, it's the D20. Yeah, it's screwed me over many times in D&D, and it often screws me over in Infinity. So.
Always rolls a 20 unless it rolls a 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's got 20 sides or 2 sides.
Two sides. Okay, this is quite a challenging question. Are you ready?
I am sat down. I'm braced. Yeah.
Bards, yay or nay?
Bards, troubadours, yay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be one, and I prefer them as cameos, but I think they play a vital role in
the band cameo now.
Right. Word up, hey. Bard up. Yeah, bards are great. I think, I've got a lot of respect for people that choose to play bards.
I had suggested that I could come to a role-playing group and play my guitar. I play the guitar as a bard, and wholeheartedly the idea was rejected by the entire party. Start playing guitar.
It's like music, right? No, we had I used to do quite a lot of LARPing, and there was someone that came along as a bard and they brought their guitar, and they very quickly became the person that no one wanted to be around.
Second, penultimate, and perhaps the most important question of this entire interview, Andy.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
I am. Yeah.
Mimics?
Ooh. What's with them? Yeah, I mean, mimics. It's kind of like, they're kind of lazy dungeoneering though, right?
But are they?
Yeah, I don't know. What are they? Maybe they're not. Maybe it's
a mimic right now. Who knows?
That's it. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. A bard and a mimic walk into a bar.
There must be a joke
somewhere. They're okay. I'm a big fan of the luggage from the Terry Pratchett world, so I've always got to have a bit of a soft spot for them. But they're still pain in the asses.
Of course. So, last question.
Already?
This is by Tom Allender.
Ooh, Tom.
Lovely Tom. Lovely, cool Tom from the club. He was our last interviewee, and he said, I had a question for you, which is, what is the first thing you're going to do down the club when this lockdown, when the isolation and lockdown's over? What's the first thing that you're going to do?
Buy a beer.
I think a lot of people can see Mag. Yeah, fine. Mag.
Go to Mags, give Mag
a lovely moment. I'll be like, Mags, I just want a cool lager from your good self.
I'll put up your fairly priced beers, please.
Moderately priced lager, please.
Yeah, exactly that. But play a game of Infinity and against one of the awesome people that plays Infinity down the club, or maybe run the bloody tournament that I was due to run on the 27th of March before all of this happened.
So many events unfortunately have been cancelled. I've got Salute was,
huge one. There was a whole bunch of us that were meant to be going out to Finland for an Infinity tournament, got cancelled. We were meant to be in Cardiff last weekend, that got cancelled. It's tough times, but hopefully it'll get back soon.
Yeah, we'll be out of this soon. And until then, we have these lovely recordings.
Yeah, exactly. All some fun things to live for.
Hard work. Thanks, Gary. Gary's doing some hard work editing this.
Hard work, Gary. Well played.
So, do you have a question for the next person I'm going to interview?
Yeah, I would like to hear what someone's favourite ever gaming moment was.
Oh.
Maybe that time when you snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, or trounced a small child at a tournament at Games Workshop's head office. Whatever it may be, I'd love to hear that.
That sounds fantastic. Lovely. So I'll look forward to asking that question to the next person we have on. Andy, anything else you want to say before we head off?
Oh, no, I mean, the usual. You guys are awesome. Well done for doing this, Andy. This is great. And I miss you all. I hope everyone's all right and staying safe. And wash your hands.
Wash your hands, wear a mask, stay safe.
That's it.
I think we all can't wait to be back and just...
Bit of normalcy, right? Bit of normalcy.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks again.
Yeah,
as always, if you want to be involved in the show, then please do put something in the message below, and I'll see if I'll get you on the list, the guest list.
Exclusive. Great.
Until then, safe gaming, everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.